Hello, everyone. It is Sunday, December 17th. Of course, Wednesday was New Comic Book Day, and right now it is time for the new comic book video. Well, it's not a really big week for books, so there's only a few books I'm going to show. And then, as we've talked, there is a show at the end of January here that I'll be doing, and I'm going to kind of show you some of the things I'm going to bring to this particular show. But let's jump into the books first. First one, cover purchase only from Dynamite. Sheena, Queen of the Jungle, number 4. There's that there. Nice cover there. Grimm Fairy Tales comes out with really nice holiday specials, and this week was no difference. This is Grimm Fairy Tales 2023 Holiday Pinup Special. This is the 36-pager. This was $5.99 here, but again, like we've talked about Zenescope, they really do their females really nice. They're really good artists as it relates to that. This was the 72-page holiday special. This was $8.99. Not real wild about the price points. That's one of the things I'm souring on, which we have discussed in past videos. But this is a really nice cover, and I did pick this up for the PC. Of course, my PC is not as big as it used to be, but I'm still putting books away that I really like. Next up, American Psycho, number 2 from Sumerian. If you've seen the movie, you know how violent it was. If you like to read comics or you like to read magazines, or books, the book American Psycho I read before I ever saw the movie, extremely violent, and there was a lot of disturbing things in that book as it relates to the treatment of animals, which I wasn't real wild about. I did enjoy the book, but if the scene in the movie where he, kills the homeless guy and then steps on the dog, if that bothered you, don't read the book, because the book is just, got a lot of stuff in there that is very disturbing, but it is about a serial killer, so kind of falls into place. The next book on the American Psycho, if you've seen the movie, the Paul Allen card, the big scene where they're at the business meeting and everybody's showing off their new business cards. Of course, Patrick Bateman's card was colored bone, the bone color, which I always thought was funny. So really good scene on that. Next up, Batman, Gargoyle of Gotham. Again, famous iconic covers, Batman standing on gargoyles overlooking Gotham, warning the criminals of Gotham that he's out there watching. Really nice cover there. This particular one here is what I thought was cover of the week besides the Zenescopes. This is Batman Gargoyles of Gotham. Again, this is the Noir edition. Really, really nice in the rain, standing on a building, looking down. I just thought that was a really, really nice cover. Definitely had to pick that up. And then Moon Knight number 30. They're talking about Death of Moon Knight coming up. This is the black cover with the famous moon on there. That was cover A. There was a ton of covers on this book. And again, price points. Again, I don't need 500 covers. I'll pick a couple of nice covers. I picked up that main cover right there with the moon. And then, of course, I had to get the Scotty Young. I picked up a couple of the Scotty Youngs because, quite frankly, Scotty Young sells very, very well. And that was it as it relates to new books. Again, there's a lot of stuff coming out, but I'm really trimming back on what I'm picking up because the cost factor is just becoming a little ridiculous right now. Got to remember, when I first started buying comic books at 7-Eleven, they were 25 cents. They're, that Zenescope book, the Winter Special, it was $8.99. A lot of books right now, they used to be $2.99, $3.99. Now they went to $4.99, and now you're seeing a lot more $5.99 and up, which, quite frankly, isn't necessary when you're bringing out 5 or 6 different covers of every hot book that comes out. It just becomes a cash grab, and that's one of the things that I'm souring on. We talked about that in the last video a little bit, trying to refocus my attention, refocus my attack plan as it relates to what I want to do for personal collection and show new books. I'll pick up a few titles, but I'm not going to pick up a ton of titles like I used to. Again, it just becomes way too much, and I hear from a lot of people that they're stepping away for the fact that it just gets too expensive and they can't afford it right now because with everything going up. Your fun money disappears on things like that when other things become more expensive as it relates to food, gas, housing, things like that. So enough of my little rant right there. So there is a show at the end of January. This is the Old School Comic Con, Sunday, January 28th. at the Rainbow Library, which is located on Cheyenne and Buffalo. It's always a good show. My friend Barney puts it on, and always puts on a really good show, advertises really well. It's one of the better little local shows that we have. So I am looking forward to that. But, excuse me, unlike times past, I'm not going to be bringing tons of vintage. I have some vintage. I haven't really been able to buy collections and, you know, pick up a lot of vintage. And I sell a lot of vintage. I'm selling at a local comic book store here. I have a little, you know, case that I have stuff in there. So I've been selling a lot of books, which is good because I'm selling them. But it just leaves less for the shows when I bring them in for my fans or my customers, excuse me. So kind of refocusing on things. We're going to do a lot of nice titles, you know, but like, you know, some Batmans, Spider-Mans. I'll show you some of the stuff I'm talking about. These are dollar books that are going to be going in dollar boxes. I did some dollar boxes at the library show in November and had a lot of success with it. You get 2 for $1 on this one. The books that I'm selling for $1 are not dollar books. Here's a couple of things you'll get for $1. First come, first serve. Again, 2 more things. First come, first serve. It's just a way for me. 2 for $1 on that. This is an Awe #1. Again, nothing that's, super expensive, but certainly a lot of books that are not dollar books. Again, I had a ton of inventory on some collections that I bought. Of course, when you buy collections, a lot of 80s, early 90s, and that's just kind of the nature of the beast. So now I'm just trying to thin it out. So there'll be a lot of things that people are going to like here. Even on my dollar books, I at least single board. I won't double board a dollar book, but I'll single board it. And so like this here, Shy, these are both signed. There's the signatures there on it. And again, these are first come, first serve for $1. These are all going to be dollar box books. Just basic stuff like that. A lot of Wolverine. I found a ton of Wolverine. The higher grade Wolverines, which I have a lot of, are going to be in a separate area on the table. Like I said, just a lot of, Wolverine stuff like this. These are just trying to get rid of them for $1. I always do sales $1. I think it's like 35 books for $25 or something like that. And again, they're all bagged and boarded, just like, I try to do. It's a single board with brand new bags. Just, basic stuff like that. People seem to like it. I sold a lot of stuff at the library out of some dollar boxes, and everybody was saying the same thing. These aren't dollar books. Well, to me, they're dollar books because I'm just trying to thin it out, and it keeps people at the table a lot longer. Now, these are not dollar books, but this kind of gives you an idea of a lot of the stuff I'm going to have, along with, some more recent stuff, but, Spider-Man, things like that. Here's, I always thought this cover was funny right here. Got the lady holding up the little baby right there. This, X Factors. Got some Conan. These have to be rebagged. But these are going to be in there. And these are only going to be, got a lot of Deadpool. These are just going to be, $2, $3 books right here. Again, I'm just going to start phasing stuff out and concentrate on other stuff. Here's a couple of McFarlane Spider-Mans, always popular. There's another one there. A couple of them there. Again, buy a lot of collections, used to get stuff like that. You got Spider-Man there, and again, you got Spider-Gwen, the Howard the Duck one right there, the What the Duck. I always thought that was funny, so I picked those up. But again, it's just going to be a couple of bucks. People sell these for a lot of money. Spider-Man, I have a lot of Deadpool that I'm going to be putting up because there's a ton of Deadpool that I have. Here's a Deadpool there. Deadpool team up. Here's a Spider-Woman right here. Spider-Woman there. Little, newsstand on that. Here's, just stuff like this. Princess Leia blank. Star Wars 1. Just, like I said, just real basic books. And so there is that. Again, I'm going to have some vintage because I always have to have vintage. But I'm not going to have boxes and boxes of vintage because I have sold a ton of vintage in the last 2 years that really thinned me out. I am going to have a box of vintage. I'm going to have a box of, you know, silver and early bronze. I'll have some gold. I'll have some stuff for the wall because I always bring my back wall when I do the library show here because it's easier for me to transport coming from, you know, my house, which is very close to that library. So I'm going to have that. And I got a lot of response. First of all, thank you everybody for the kind words and the response. Welcome me back, you know, to the community, to the channel. It means a lot to me. But there's a lot of things going on. I know how it is in Las Vegas. Like I said, we have a shop that's closing at the end of the month. There's a couple of shops that are kind of struggling to pay bills, because what happens is when you have an economy that it is right now, food's expensive, gas is expensive, although gas has gone down over 40 cents, you know, recently, which is nice, but it's still, you know, $3.50 a gallon, which is ridiculous. But when you have food and stuff like that, housing and everything else goes up, the first thing people have to cut out are just their extra, you know, extra expenses, their hobby money. You know, maybe you had, you know, $40 to spend a week on comics, and then with everything going up there, maybe you only have $20 to spend or $10 to spend. It really cuts into it. The shops feel it. You know, the shops are feeling it. I hear a lot of people talking about it. It's nothing that anybody likes. There has been some really nice, you know, on the flip side, there's been some really good sales as it relates to, you know, being able to buy things. There's a shop here locally, Fandomverse, that if you're a box customer there, he's doing 30% off this month on, you know, comics, you know, reading material, comics, as well as supplies, which if you know the cost of supplies, you know, you can't find boards, a pack of 100 boards anymore for, you know, $8.99, $7.99. They're always, you know, $12.99, $14.99, $15. They're getting more and more expensive. And that's another reason people are pulling away, because even if you just want to buy boards, I know I rebrag and board everything. That's an expensive cost for me, but it's something that I'm willing to do because I have a reputation of, you know, having very good condition books that are well taken care of. So people have, you know, confidence in buying from me. So that's an expense that I have to do, but it's an expense I'd rather not do. But, you know, what are you going to do about that? Can't do a whole lot. Again, the weekly stuff is going to be real minimal. I do, you know, enjoy going to the comic shop, seeing the new books, but it's just a matter of, you know, 5 years ago, I'd go in there and I'd buy, you know, 50 different books. Now I go in there and I, you know, this past week at one of the shops I go to, I had 2 books. That was it. And so, you know, it cuts back and you do what you got to do. You know, it is what it is. As I keep continuing to rattle on about this, everybody else is feeling the pinch. So with that said, again, end of January, you're going to find a lot of books. If you show up, I guarantee you'll find something that you want at a really good price. And again, if you want to show up and just say hello, just come by, say hello, BS a little bit. I love talking to people about the industry. I still have a love for the industry. It's just becoming a little bit more difficult for me to accept a lot of things that are going on as it relates to the cost factors for books, supplies, grading. You know, CGC knows that they're faltering right now with their grading, and they're trying to, you know, pick it back up. If you haven't seen the new CBCS cases, they are absolutely amazing. And like I've always stated, I think CBCS, as it relates to consistency with the grading, is stronger than CGC. But CGC was the originator, and you have people that just stick with that, regardless of how bad the grading is. We talked about the last books I got from CGC, the Canto #1, that someone put a thumb in the fingers and messed that book up, which I'm still irritated about. But you know, we talked about that. So again, my videos, they'll get better as we go on. I've just been, you know, real busy trying to get stuff like this for the show because I want to bring in cheaper aspects. Everybody wants, you know, you always want to have, I'm going to have the $300, $400, $500 books on the wall if you want to buy something like that. But I'm going to stick more to the, you know, the dollar books up to, you know, the $15 to $30 range, you know, $1 to $30. I think that sells really good at the library show. And I have regular customers. They'll call me and say, hey, bring me this, and I'll bring it and make my money. So I'm not worried about it. But there's that. Again, I really appreciate all the positive comments I got from the last video. It's been a long time, which we discussed. You know, some people understood, you know, what people go through when you deal with stuff like that. And I'm very transparent when it comes to that. You know, I was proud to serve my country, and I would do it all over again, even with the issues that, you know, ultimately I have to deal with because of that. But again, proud to be an American. Flag right there. It's my grandfather's flag when he was buried, and that's, you know, very special place for me is that flag. So there was that. There was my patriotic moment on the video. So with that said, I hope you liked the video, but as always, if you didn't, nothing I can do for you. Have a great day, evening now because it's night, and I will see you next week. And I promise I'll have, you know, maybe some older books, maybe even show a couple of my favorite movies that I didn't have an opportunity to do over Halloween, which I wanted to, and we'll go from there. So see you soon.